All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. This is your Over Tuesday edition, and I have a pretty good, interesting take. I wanted to check into. I came across a post on X with Lisa Leslie. She was on the Angel Reese podcast, Unapologetically Angel, and she was talking about that she had went up for a coaching job this off season in the WNBA, and apparently she did not get the job. And then she alluded to some other stuff that I think that, to me, I think the reason why she didn't get the job is because the fact of the matter is she's not one of them. I don't think it has to do anything with skin color, because if you look at her accolades and everything like that, she's pretty much, she has you can't deny her background. I'm just going to give you a little run off a little bit before I dive into that clip. She was in the WNBA from 97 to '09. That was the last time she played. She did coach for the Big Three. That's her only coaching job, professional coaching job, from 2019 and to 2024. And she won a championship with the Big Three in 2019. Now, she's a two-time NBA champion, 21 and 22, two times WNBA Finals MVP that same year, a three-time WNBA, a three-time WNBA MVP also in 21, in '01, '04, and '06. An eight-time WNBA All-Star, a three-time WNBA All-Star MVP, an eight-time All WNBA First Team, a four-time All WNBA Second Team, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, two-time All Defensive First Team, a two-time All Defensive Second Team, two-time WNBA Blocks Leader, a three-time WNBA Rebounding Champion, a WNBA Peak Performer, 10-year anniversary, 15-year anniversary, 20-year anniversary, 25-year anniversary. She retired her number 9 jersey at the Sparks and her number 33 at USC. She was the FIBA World Cup MVP in '02, Honda Sports Award in '94, Neesmith College Player of the Year in '94, USBWA Player of the Year in '94, so forth and so on. I don't have to go on anymore. So if you look at her resume for accolade, her resume for accolades is astounding. You can't deny that. But the only thing there is she doesn't have any coaching experience. And I would not, I mean, you could consider the Big Three as some kind of coaching experience. Yeah, okay, we add that. But you look at, you can't look at other people that get coaching jobs that shouldn't have coaching jobs. I mean, you look at Teresa Witherspoon. She did coach. I think she was under somebody in the NBA for a little bit. Same with Becky Hammond and all of them. But it's just to come out, and especially when you not, your takes on the WNBA is not lining up to what the league is about, it can pretty much set you back. So if that makes sense, and if y'all know what I'm getting at. So let me play this clip right, for just to listen to her take a little bit, and then I'll get back into some other things.
The people want to know though, will you ever be a head coach for a WNBA team?
You know what? I'm going to say this for the first time. I put my name in the hat to coach this year for two teams, all the way down to the end. I won't say who those two teams are, but I did not get
The job.
picked. And I felt like I would never make another attempt to go into coaching
Really?
in the WNBA. Yes, because it's like you got to be 10 times as great as a Black woman in this industry.
There's only one left, I think.
And when I tell you that who these people hired is not better than me and what I could do for this team and players, but it's okay because I, again, am a very much that what's for you is for you.
Yes.
And that's not for me. And I'm okay with that.
All right. So the one thing that I took away from that, the first thing she alluded to, that you gotta be 10 toes down as a Black woman. Okay, I look at it like this. If you qualify, you qualify. But to me, I think it's other variables. I think the other team was Chicago Sky. I think she wanted that job to, to be able to coach Angel Reese. After she tried to help Angel Reese in Unrivaled a little bit, but you know how that was. Angel Reese kind of reverted back to some of her old stuff. Now, the other team was surprisingly, I didn't know this either until it popped up. Lisa Leslie applied to be a head coach for the Dallas Wings in the offseason, but was rejected. She also applied for another WNBA team and was also turned down, prompting her to say that she would never attempt to coach again in the WNBA. So now it could have been the Indiana Fever. We don't know. But most likely, I think it was the Chicago Sky, was the other team. And I think she wanted to be able to coach the bigs, coach Camilla, coach Angel Reese. A lot of people always say that, hey, we should have hired Cheryl Miller because Cheryl Miller coached the All-Star game with Caitlin Clark. Cheryl Miller's old. She really old. And she don't have no desire to coach. A lot of, when we was looking for a coach in Indiana, we didn't even think about Stephanie White because we thought she was just locked in with Connecticut. And when the Christy Size situation came, we thought we was going to have another year with Christy Size. Then a lot of people said, hey, we need to get Lisa Bruder. Then we thought it was going to be somebody else. We was like, hey, we need to get this guy, a guy from the NBA. But nevertheless, we ended up getting Stephanie White to return home. I say this to say that Lisa Leslie and Rebecca Lobo are two probably the most realist. Sometimes Lisa Leslie could, she could dabble a little bit, but for most part, she has stayed consistent, especially when it comes down to Indiana and Caitlin Clark. Now, if you go back and listen to that whole podcast, there's certain points in there I strolled through, and it was talking about free agency, and she was really high on Indiana. Now that you could tell and look at Angel's face, that didn't set well with her. So, but nevertheless, I think, but she shows love to everybody, not just Caitlyn and whatever. She shows love to Angel Reese too, but we already know how Angel Reese is, her jealousy and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I think that with Lisa Leslie, I don't think that you should allow, because you got rejected by two teams, I won't allow that to stop me because there are two expansion teams coming in. Throw your name in that hat, and if you don't get it, then hey, you gave it a try. But just to say, well, hey, you know what? I ain't about to do it no more, uh, because of what it is. And then you say, well, hey, I think I'm better than some of these coaches, and you should think you're better than some of them coaches. I, But the point is that you not one of them. Yeah, you've been a player in the league. You have accomplished a lot as a player through your career, but they're gonna look at you and say, "Well, you don't have any coaching experience." And when we know for a fact that other coaches have gotten jobs just based on who you know, and everything like that, and or if you in that buddy system or you rocking with a certain group or whatever the case may be. I mean, Chrissy Side shouldn't even had a coaching job for the Indiana Fever, but guess what? Lynn Dunn liked her so much she brought her over because she was only a defensive coach for Atlanta, and whatever the case may be. Sometimes people say, "Hey, go coach as assistant for a while, for a couple of times. Now, Lisa Leslie is 52 years old. She's about to be 53 in July, you know, but if she wants to coach high school, coach college, coach somewhere, if you want to still coach, it seems like she still have the desire to coach. So why not do it? You know, but she said, hey, I would never coach again, apply for a job as a coach for the WNBA. And she's probably see the things that us as fans on the outside have seen, and she don't like how it is. And I'm sure that's why I was never on board of Lisa Bluer coaching Caitlin Clark in the college. We already seen how they trying to make it hard for Caitlin Clark and her team, regardless of who's there, the general, Kelly, Amber, Stephanie, whoever's there, they trying to make it hard for that team. And if Lisa Bluder came there, I'm sure it would have been a little bit, not great for her as well, even though she's a good coach. So, and then you look at it sometime and you say, hey, you know what? This ain't for me. It's what it is. And like she said, what's made for me is made for me. And you have to take that approach sometimes. And sometimes that all coaching opportunities, because you want to coach there, is not always great coaching opportunities. You could always be a coach somewhere else. You could always get into the NBA. There's a lot of women that is coaching in the in the NBA right now. And in college, you could be assistant under somebody. You probably have connections. You probably could have got on the coaching staff. I don't know. But nonetheless, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But should Lisa Leslie continue to pursue coaching as she desires to? Or she should say, hey, you know what? I'm good. Leave a like, comment below. Until the next episode, this is Live Watch Sports Media. This is your Takeover Tuesday. You know what it is, because if you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.